Hang on, Mother Nature is sending us on a winter roller coaster. This is America's Morning Headquarters. Look at that colder air coming in midweek. How low will it go? We'll let you know. I'm meteorologist Stephanie Abrams alongside meteorologist Jordan Steele and Molly McCullough.
You've been okay with this recent cold snap?
Yeah, not
bad.
Actually okay with it.
It's better than a crackle or a pop. Snap, crackle, pop. No?
Oh, cold snap.
Cold snap.
Yeah, that didn't.
Breakfast, Rice Krispies, they make noise? Okay. All right, as we start the week, obviously it's been frigid. We had snow on the ground, and today the warmth moving in. You got the rainfall, which will melt the snow, and we're going to have some wicked winds kick in just in time for holiday travel.
I was thinking severe weather when you were talking about the snap, the crackle and the pop. I thought you were talking about severe weather, which we could see, by the way, on the Pacific Northwest. That's where I thought you were going with this. But we are going to see yet another atmospheric river bring a huge surge of moisture on already saturated grounds.
That's right, and that means more drenching rain for some of these cities that are still underwater after picking up more than a foot of rain last week. We've seen flooded roads, landslides, second breached levee causing evacuations this morning.
That is true, but before we get to all of that, we want to get right to that very cold air, Molly, and some days getting 1/10 of an inch, but we certainly have had in the first couple weeks here of December a little bit of snow. So hopefully with that cold air sticking around the northern tier, we'll technically have a white Christmas and have that snow still on the ground here. So there's a look at Duluth. Molly was there just before Thanksgiving. Big winter storm came through and the winds were whipping, and we're going to see that happen again as we head into our Thursday night. Notice the temperature drop. I think that will be a bigger deal than the snow because this is our overnight low Thursday into our Friday morning. And notice that's the actual air temperature. That is not our wind chill. That is the actual air temperature. So much colder air coming in behind our system, which comes through Wednesday into Thursday, and then we pull in the colder air, which doesn't get all the way to the south, by the way. Des Moines, we also have had quite a big season here. We're above average by 11 inches. November was a big one. Our snow depth here is about 4 inches. So though we've had a lot of snow, it's melted down to 4 inches. Chicago, Molly was also there around Thanksgiving time where we're a foot above average for us here. Notice that we do have rain with this event because of the warmer temperatures. The winds come in and again drop those temperatures so that 11 is going to feel probably like it's 0 degrees. Chicago has had kind of nickels and dimes, and then we've had $4.50 here, essentially, as we looked over a couple weekends ago. That's when we had a bigger snow coming down, but our snow depth is 0. And if there is any snow, that's officially the snow depth. If there is any snow left on the ground, this rain, by the way, look at that southwest flow. That brings up the warmer temperatures and the rain for our Thursday afternoon. Then watch the winds shift behind this. A northwest wind, that's the colder air and the snow coming in. I think it's pretty cool that you can see that in the hourly. Indianapolis, we also have had, 2 inches and a big 5-incher this past weekend here. Our snow depth is 3 inches. But we're above average. We've had a big season here so far. We're 11 inches above average here in and around Indianapolis. And so there's still a little bit of snow on the ground for us. With this system, again, we're going to see those warmer temperatures. So that snow depth might go from 3 inches to 0. But there's your drop with a few of those showers left. And also one last stop here into Pittsburgh. 4.5 inches above average. We've had a couple systems come through, a couple bigger ones, 3 and 5 inches, Molly. But our snow depth here of 4 inches. Again, what's going to happen with it? Rain and then snow. So we might melt a little bit of that with these warmer temps.
All right, let's talk warmer temps because let's take you into the southern tier.
A lot of it around the Great Lakes in the Northeast. And this snow is going to get eaten away by several different factors. We're going to see the heat. We're going to see the wind. We're going to see the fog. And so this is cloud cover, but this is that snow line. You're going to see that melt northbound thanks to several different factors. And we want to go through these different factors and what you are going to experience. Well, first off, if you have a fresh snow, then it's that bright white, and there's this thing called albedo. And so what that means essentially is when you get the sun rays come in, that bright white is going to reflect it. If the snow gets dirtier, then it absorbs more of that and it's going to melt. We've got warm temperatures, we've got some sunshine, so that's one way that we're going to eat away at this snowpack. Then we have rain and fog. The rain is pretty obvious. The fog, what it actually does is you have warm, moist air over the cooler snowpack. That causes condensation to occur. and that process releases heat, which accelerates the melting process. That's a really long story short. So that's going to also help melt some of the snow. Then we have the wind coming in and sublimation. And what happens is you have a higher concentration of water vapor molecules at the snow surface than just above it, and that causes the snow to lose mass to the atmosphere. When the wind is constantly removing that water vapor, you get sublimation that goes solid to liquid. That's a whole nother story or solid to gas, I should say, in one other story. But essentially, you have the wind that is continuously drawing away that humid air, replacing it with dry air, and you get that sublimation to occur, which goes from a solid to a gas. And Jordan, we've got a lot of winds here for our Wednesday and even into our Thursday.
Not the dry air.
In Washington, we're going to take you down. That's where we have that flash flood warning. Flash flooding means it's imminent or it's occurring, and there's your breach, and you can see the evacuation area as well. And we've had a lot of flash flood warnings, all due to the heavy rainfall that's come in and those rivers that continue to rise here. This is until 7:45, our flash flood warning that we've got into King County, with more rain coming in over the next 5 days, snow as well. It's going to be super wet, especially as we head through today into tomorrow, and then more towards the end of the week. And that's why we have those flood watches. There's the potential for flooding along the coastal areas, and even a severe weather threat with some of that colder air aloft and that very strong jet stream that is plowing ashore, not only with the moisture, but with some upper level energy. So we start off the day not terrible, but when we get this big piece of upper level energy to come in, look at the soaking rain as we head into the evening hours. That then moves east and causes a mess from the Great Lakes down to the Gulf Coast with the snow and the rain, and there's much colder air being pulled in behind that. Then we get another system that's going to come in. So Thursday into Friday, more rain and more flooding is possible for us. We pick up the timeline again. There's our Thursday. Look at our Friday, still snowy and wet. So this is just going to exacerbate the situation that we already have in place. And notice it doesn't really stop as we head into the weekend. So over the next 5 days, we have got that 3 to 5, 5 to 8, even 8 to 12, heavy snow here into the Pacific Northwest as well. You're talking 4, 5, even 6 feet of snow. And that means that some of these rivers are going to pop off again. We have 2 in moderate flood stage here. And as we go into our forecast, we're going to have 2 go into major. And then we also have many more going into moderate. We have the Skagit River, which we had issues with earlier. And we will get more issues there from Everett to Seattle to Tacoma, Olympia, over onto the peninsula as well. It's going to be wet. Our temperatures are going to stay on the cool side, too, into the 40s and also the 50s. Talk about what we are going to deal with temperature-wise, because we really do have a roller coaster or a worm happening here. Maybe the worm. Remember the worm on the floor from the 90s? Could you do it? I could do it. I don't know that I was that great at it, but I could do it.
Could you still do it?
The worm on the floor?
Yeah.
No, I don't know what you're talking about. Will you show me?
What?
No, he's just messing.
I don't understand. What is this?
Jordan, I bet you could do that.
Yeah, just go be a worm on the floor. It's very easy. Let's have a look at our temperatures right now. And maybe you're not doing the worm, but you're doing the sprinkler or the shopping cart to stay warm. Dancing, working out, moving your body. It always heats you up here. In the south, it is cold. It feels like 30 in Tally. It feels like the 20s from Little Rock to Jackson and Montgomery. Chucktown, Nashville, even New Orleans. 36 feels like in New Orleans is frigid. But we do have mild temperatures, especially right through the center of the country ahead of our next system. And that warm air is actually going to expand as we head throughout the next couple of days with our highs 10, 25 degrees above average. Notice that we warm, but behind our system, we really cool off. That cold air is going to stay around the Great Lakes and into the Northeast as well. But before we get to the cold, I want us to just revel in this and soak in the potential record highs and record warm lows that we have. There's your little dip of the cold air. That's going to bring, again, the same areas, the same type of conditions we've been dealing with here with that chilly air sticking around the Great Lakes. Notice Chicago. We go up, we go down, we go up. We can't decide what we want to do with our weather. Heading into Christmas, though, we're going to be above average, which is kind of a bummer. We kind of want a cold and snowy one, right? Same in Indianapolis. We've got a roller coaster into Christmas. Hands up, everybody.